Okay, I just wanted to shoot a real quick video. I see a lot of times cars coming in and the bumpers have repairs been done on them before, and there's bodywork's cracking off of them, and the cracks originally fixed are coming back through. So I just wanted to show you a little trick that I've done on these bumpers and plastic parts that works real well for cracks. Okay, so here I've got a rocker panel off this BMW M6, and it hit a curb and it just rubbed it right through the plastic all the way through. And this part's pretty expensive. When you're doing wreck rebuilds and things like that, you want to save as much money as you can. So what I did is I ground the back side of it. You always have to get the back side reinforced to make it strong. So I took a little grinder and I roughed up the plastic. This plastic is that tough kind of plastic that's a little bit oily. So some of the repair materials I make for these are a little hard to stick. So what I'm going to do is, after I've ground that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some holes in it. So I just took an 1/8 inch drill bit and I'm going to put a hole all through it along the edge of the crack. Oh, I figured my battery went out. Okay, so we have basically Swiss cheese over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this crack shut where it should be before we reinforce the back of it. Okay. Now, as you can see, the holes are just going to have the material that you fix this with seep through there, and it's going to just tie them in like a shoelace on a shoe. It's just going to make everything all that much harder to break apart if it ever has a problem. And we're also going to use a little bit of screen to reinforce it. This stuff here, you just get it from Home Depot. It's for drywall. Works just as good. One side's a little bit sticky on it. You can just run it all the way down the whole seam. It's a little sticky on one side. Holds it in place. Now, the repair material that I'm going to use for this, it's Lord Fuser's 100 Easy. It's not actually designed for a lot of flexibility in bumpers, but when you have a problem bumper with the type of plastic that it is, it's hard to stick to. This stuff I found has stick to just about anything. And the only thing that you got to be a little concerned with is if it's a very flexible part, like the old style bumpers that are real flexible. Probably a little too stiff for that, but on stuff like this, it works great. It doesn't have to be flexible because this part does not really flex. The only other downside to this stuff, it takes a long time to set up. It's really designed to be heat set. So if you got a heat lamp, you can just throw the heat lamp on it, and then it sets pretty quick. Otherwise, it's going to take probably 3 or 4 hours under average temperatures. it doesn't have to be real thick or anything, but you just, as long as you get it in there, make sure it gets through the holes. Didn't quite mix enough. Okay, so just make sure it gets in those holes real good. Probably come from the back side, make sure that the material's gotten through the holes. And then we'll let it dry. Okay, so I put a little heat on this thing, and it's all good and hard now. And if you want to, even though no one's going to see anything, you know, us painters just like to paint stuff anyway. So we'll just, there, disappear just like that. Gone. Okay, now on the outside, what you want to do is you want to bevel the crack, so that way you get more surface area for all your material, and you want to grind a little bit of these heads where the holes are at, so that you don't get that edge coming through on each of the holes when you put your material on there. Now, as you can see, when you grind this stuff, the heat from the grinder kind of melts that plastic a little bit, so it brings those oils up to the surface. So what I like to do is take a DA with some 80 grit and go over with that before you put anything else on it. Okay, now ready for some more of the two-part epoxy here. Just want to make sure all your holes are all filled in. You get a good solid bond in there. Keep in mind, this stuff, after it gets hard, it's really tough to sand. So I'll go ahead and just rough it out with 80 grit, and I'll come back with a little polyester putty on top. It's a real thin coat. That way you can do your final sand blocking on it. And that's all. That's all there is to it.